What if I told you that two of the most joyful people on the planet have faced incredible hardship, exile, and oppression? How is it possible to find lasting joy, not just fleeting happiness, in a world full of suffering? Well, that's exactly what His Holiness, the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu, came together to answer. Imagine this: a week-long conversation in Dharamshala, India, between these two spiritual giants, two dear friends, filled with laughter, wisdom, and profound insights. The Rasul is the Book of Joy, and today we're diving deep into its life-changing lesson. This isn't just about feeling good for a moment. It's about building a deep, resilient joy that can withstand anything life throws at you. So, get comfortable and let's explore the path to lasting joy together. First, let's get one thing straight. Joy is not the same as happiness. The book makes a crucial distinction. Happiness is often tied to external things: a new car, a good meal, a sunny day. It's wonderful, but it's often temporary and depends on our circumstances. Joy, on the other hand, is much deeper. It's an internal state of being, a way of approaching the world with an open heart and a peaceful mind that can coexist even with sadness and pain. The Dalai Lama and Archbishop Tutu don't shy away from the hard stuff. They argue that suffering is an unavoidable, natural part of life. Trying to avoid it is like trying to avoid the weather. The key isn't to escape suffering, but to change how we respond to it. As they say, nothing beautiful comes without some suffering. The pain of a workout leads to strength. The struggle of learning leads to wisdom. In the same way, hardship can become a powerful catalyst for compassion, resilience, and ultimately, a deeper, more meaningful joy. It's about finding meaning in the struggle, not pretending the struggle doesn't exist. So if joy is an inner state, what stops us from feeling it? The book identifies some major obstacles that live inside our own minds and hearts. These are the universal challenges we all face. First, there's fear, stress, and anxiety. We worry about the future. We stress about our daily lives. We're anxious about what might go wrong. These feelings hijack our minds, trapping us in a cycle of what if and pulling us away from the present moment where joy can be found. Then there's frustration and anger. When things don't go our way, when we feel wronged or unheard, it's easy to get angry. And while anger can sometimes be a signal that something needs to change, when it becomes our default state, it poisons our inner world and pushes others away. Sadness and grief are also powerful obstacles. Losing someone we love, facing a devastating diagnosis, or experiencing a deep disappointment can feel crushing. The book acknowledges this pain fully, reminding us that these hard times can also knit us more closely together and open our hearts in new ways. And perhaps the most difficult of all is despair. The feeling that the world is in turmoil and that nothing we do can make a difference. This feeling can lead to loneliness, envy of others who seem to have it easier, and a deep fear of illness and death. These obstacles are real, and they are heavy. But the beautiful message of the book is that they are not roadblocks. They are simply hurdles we can learn to overcome. The first step is to acknowledge them without judgment. Now for the best part, the solution. The book presents what it calls the 8 pillars of joy. Think of these as the tools and virtues you can cultivate to build a foundation for a joyful life. They are divided into 2 categories: for qualities of the mind and for qualities of the heart. Let's start with the pillars of the mind. The first is perspective. This is about taking a step back and seeing the bigger picture. When we're stuck in a problem, it can feel all-consuming. But by widening our lensba, remembering that this too shall pass, or by considering the much greater suffering of others, we can shrink our problems down to a more manageable size. Perspective isn't about dismissing our pain, but about contextualizing it. The second pillar is humility. Humility is knowing that we are not the center of the universe. It frees us from the constant pressure to be perfect, to be right, to have it all figured out. When we can laugh at ourselves and admit our mistakes, we become lighter and more open to learning and connection. The third is humor. The Dalai Lama and Archbishop Tutu are constantly teasing each other in the book. They show us that humor and laughter are essential. Laughter can diffuse tension, break down barriers, and remind us not to take ourselves too seriously. It's a direct path to joy, even in dark times. And the fourth pillar of the mind is acceptance. This is the art of embracing reality as it is, not as we wish it would be. It's about letting go of the fight against things we cannot change. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means saving our energy for the things we can influence, bringing a sense of peace and grace to our lives. Next, we move to the four pillars of the heart. These are the virtues that connect us to others and move us beyond ourselves. The fifth pillar is forgiveness. Holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. Forgiveness is not about condoning what happened. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of anger and bitterness. It's a gift you give to yourself, a way to heal your own heart. The sixth, and one of the most powerful pillars, is gratitude. Gratitude fundamentally shifts our focus from what's missing in our lives to what's present. It's impossible to feel envious or deprived when you are actively appreciating what you have, whether it's the roof over your head, the food on your plate, or the kindness of a stranger. Gratitude rewires our brains to see the good that is always there. The seventh pillar is compassion. Compassion is the desire to see others free from suffering. It moves us from me to we. When we feel compassion, our own problems seem smaller. We connect with our shared humanity, and in the act of caring for others, we find a deep and abiding joy. As the Dalai Lama says, if you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. And finally, the eighth pillar is generosity. Generosity is compassion in action. It's the joy of giving, whether it's our time, our resources, or our attention. The act of giving connects us, creates abundance, and proves that the more we give, the more we feel we have. It is one of the most reliable and direct routes to joy. So we have the concepts, the obstacles, and the pillars. But the book emphasizes that knowing the path is not the same as walking it. Wisdom has to be turned into a lived experience through practice. The final section of the book is all about simple, daily joy practices that anyone can do. This is where the magic really happens. It could be starting your day with a short meditation to calm your mind. It could be keeping a gratitude journal where you write down 3 things you're thankful for before bed. It might be a morning prayer or a few moments of reflective silence. It also includes practices of active compassion, like a morning intention where you resolve to act with kindness throughout the day. The point is to make these things a habit. Just like you brush your teeth every day for your physical health, these small practices are for your mental and spiritual health. They are the daily exercises that build your joy muscles over time. So, what are the biggest takeaways from this incredible conversation between 2 of the world's wisest souls? First, joy is an inside job. It's a state of mind and heart that we can cultivate, regardless of our external circumstances. Second, suffering is inevitable, but our response to it is what matters. We can allow it to make us bitter, or we can use it to grow in compassion and resilience. And third, joy is not a solo pursuit. It is found through connection, through perspective, humility, forgiveness, gratitude, compassion, and generosity. It's about moving beyond our own self-centered worries and opening our hearts to the world. The Book of Joy is a beautiful invitation to choose joy, not as a fleeting emotion, but as a way of being. It reminds us that even in a changing and often difficult world, we have the power to create a more joyful life for ourselves and for everyone around us. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. I hope it brought you some value and inspiration. If you enjoyed this, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel for more summaries of life-changing books. What was your favorite pillar of joy? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, be well and choose joy.